What if the voice in your head, the one that narrates your life, whispers your fears, and judges your every move, isn't actually you? Imagine waking up one day, realize that the constant stream of thoughts, the worries that keep you up at night, the self-doubt that holds you back, they belong to something else entirely. This isn't science fiction. It's a profound truth that has the power to dismantle your limitations and reveal the expansive, peaceful presence that lies beneath the mental noise. Are you ready to question the very foundation of your perceived identity? For centuries, thinkers and seekers have wrestled with a fundamental question. Who is the I that experiences life, the relentless stream of thoughts, emotions, and memories? Today, we delve into the profound insights of acclaimed spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle. His transformative teachings challenge the belief that we are this mental activity, revealing instead that you are not your mind, but a far vaster awareness observing it. Understanding this distinction, central to Tolle's philosophy, is the transformative cornerstone to unlocking inner peace and freedom from suffering. We embark on a journey beyond the confines of the thinking mind. We will uncover the illusions it creates, understand its relentless nature, and discover the profound truth that awaits when we realize we are the awareness behind the thoughts. Prepare to see yourself and your relationship with your inner world in a completely new light. The central problem, the source of so much human suffering, lies in a case of mistaken identity. We believe we are our thoughts. We identify with the narratives the mind creates, the stories of our past, the worries about our future, the labels we and others place upon us. This identification creates the ego, a mental construct that, while necessary for navigating the world, becomes a prison when we mistake it for our true self. Think about this. How often do you find yourself lost in thought, replaying past conversations, imagining future scenarios, or judging yourself and others? This endless mental activity, this endless chatter in your head, is the mind doing what it does. But when you believe that this chatter is you become trapped by it. Your mood, your sense of self-worth, your perception of reality, everything becomes filtered through the often negative and fear-based lens of the thinking mind. There are two main forms of suffering. One is fear, which stems from thoughts about the future. The other is psychological pain, which arises from negative thoughts about the past. Neither of these exists in the present moment. They require the mind to drag you out of the now, to keep you locked in a prison of the mind. The key to end this suffering is to stop thinking. Have you ever tried to stop thinking? Why is it so difficult to stop thinking, even when we know our thoughts are causing us pain? It's like an addiction. We are addicted to our thoughts, to the drama they create, to the sense of identity they provide, even if that identity is rooted in suffering. The ego, this survival mechanism, clings to its narratives because they are all it knows. To question these narratives, to realize you are not your thoughts, feels like a threat to the ego's very existence. Have you ever felt that resistance when you try to quiet your mind, that pull back into the familiar stream of thoughts? That's the ego's grip. So how do you stop thinking? How do you stop the endless chatter in your head? How do we end the addiction to our thoughts? Now, let's delve deeper into the mechanisms of this mental prison and begin to uncover the path to liberation. The truth is simpler and more powerful than you might imagine. The idea that we are not our minds is not a New Age platitude. It's a concept echoed in various wisdom traditions and increasingly supported by psychological insights. Consider the psychological concept of cognitive fusion, where we become so entangled with our thoughts that we treat them as absolute truths. If you have the thought, "I am a failure," and you are fused with that thought, you believe you are a failure. This thought then dictates your feelings, your behavior, and your perception of yourself and the world. But if you can see the thought for what it is, just a thought, a string of words in your mind, then it loses its power over you, creating distance between you and the thought. Take the example of someone struggling with social anxiety. Their mind generates thoughts like, "Everyone is judging me. I'm going to say something stupid," or "I don't belong here." If they are fused with these thoughts, the anxiety becomes overwhelming, leading to avoidance and further reinforcing the belief that they are socially inept. Their mind has created a reality of fear and inadequacy. But are these thoughts objective truths? Or are they just mental events, products of a mind conditioned by past experiences? Contrast this with someone who has learned to observe these thoughts without judgment. They notice the thoughts of judgment arising, but they don't automatically believe them or let them dictate their actions. They might think, "My mind is telling me everyone is judging me," and then consciously choose to engage in a conversation or stay in the social situation. This act of mindful observation, of recognizing that they are not the thoughts, creates a space for a different response, a response not driven by fear. Another example can be seen in the phenomenon of rumination, the repetitive dwelling on negative thoughts and feelings. Studies have shown that rumination is a significant factor in the development and maintenance of depression and anxiety. The mind gets stuck in a loop, replaying painful memories or worrying about future catastrophes. This is the mind in overdrive, and identifying with this mental activity keeps individuals trapped in a cycle of suffering. However, practices like mindfulness, which involve observing thoughts without getting caught up in them, have been shown to reduce rumination and alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. This provides some scientific backing for the idea that simply observing the mind can have a tangible impact on our well-being. Think about historical figures who seemed to operate from a place beyond the conventional confines of the mind. Consider the great meditators and spiritual leaders who spoke of transcending the ego and experiencing a state of unity or enlightenment. While their language may differ, the underlying principle is the same. Recognizing that the limited, fearful self constructed by the thinking mind is not the ultimate reality of who you are. You're starting to see the problem, the identification with the thinking mind. Now, let's uncover the profound insight that shifts everything and reveals the way out of the mental maze. The key insight, the realization that begins to dismantle the mental prison, is simply this: you are the witness. You are the awareness that is reading these words, the consciousness that is observing the thoughts flowing through your mind. You are not the thinker. You are the space in which the thinking happens. Eckhart Tolle eloquently states, "The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the thinker. The moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated." This simple act of observation creates a separation, a distance between you and your thoughts. When you observe your thoughts, you are no longer trapped in them. You are the observer of them. Imagine you are sitting by a river, watching the water flow by. The river is your stream of thoughts. You can watch the leaves and debris, the negative or repetitive thoughts, float past without jumping in and being carried away by the current. You are the shore, the stable presence observing the ever-changing flow. This realization is not about stopping thought altogether, which for most humans is surprisingly difficult, and perhaps even impossible or undesirable. The mind is a valuable tool for solving problems, planning, and creativity. The key is to stop identifying with it, to stop believing that its contents are who you are. Being the witness also means recognizing that the real you is something far more infinite than the limited self the ego constructs. This true self, this consciousness, is the source of qualities that truly matter: beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace. These don't arise from the thinking mind. They arise from a deeper dimension of your being, a dimension you access when you are not fully identified with the incessant mental chatter. You begin to awaken to this deeper reality. This understanding of yourself as the witness is the foundation. Now, let's explore the practical application of this insight and how it leads to a life lived not in the confines of the mind, but in the expansive freedom of the present moment. The path to living from a place of greater freedom and less suffering involves two interconnected practices. The first practice is this: become the witness to your mind. This is the practice of observing your thoughts without judgment. It's not about trying to force your mind to be silent, but about creating a space between you and the thinking. Think about your thoughts as clouds floating by in a blue sky. Some clouds might be dark and stormy, negative thoughts, others light and fluffy, fleeting ideas, and some barely noticeable. Just watch them. Notice their presence without getting swept up in their content. This requires discipline at first, as the mind will try to pull you back into identification. It will say, "This thought is important," or "You need to worry about this." Your job is to gently redirect your attention back to the act of observing. Remember, judging your thoughts is a thinking act, a mind act that keeps you trapped in the cycle. If you find yourself judging your thoughts, simply notice that you are judging and return to being the witness. This practice weakens the ego's grip. As you consistently observe your thoughts, you realize they are not fixed truths, but fleeting mental events. You see the patterns of your thinking, the recurring worries, the self-critical narratives, the endless planning, and you begin to understand that this is just the mind's programming, not who you are. This detachment allows you to respond to life's challenges from a place of conscious choice, rather than being automatically driven by your ingrained mental patterns. Practice 2. Be conscious of the now. The second essential practice is bringing your awareness into the present moment. The mind thrives in the past and future, dwelling on memories or anticipating what's to come. The present moment, the now, is where life actually happens, and it is the realm where suffering, which requires past or future thinking, cannot exist. Being conscious of the now involves engaging your senses and paying full attention to your surroundings and your body in this moment. If you are sitting, feel the chair beneath you. Notice the sensations in your body. If you are walking, feel your feet on the ground. Notice the sights and sounds around you. Look at a tree as if you're seeing it for the first time, observing its details with all your senses without analyzing or comparing. This practice pulls your awareness out of the mind's narratives and anchors it in the tangible reality of the present. When you are fully present, the volume of the mental chatter naturally decreases. You are no longer lost in thought. You are engaged with life as it is unfolding. Whenever you feel negativity creeping into your mind, ask yourself, "Am I being present?" This simple question acts as a powerful reminder to shift your attention from the mental realm back to the physical reality of the now. In the present moment, stripped of the mind's projections and interpretations, suffering does not exist. You have the map, the two fundamental practices. Now, let's look at the profound impact these practices have on your life and the true liberation they offer. Embracing the truth that you are greater than your mind and consistently practicing conscious awareness leads to a profound shift in how you experience life. Firstly, you gain freedom from the tyranny of your thoughts. The endless loop of worry, self-criticism, and fear begins to lose its power. You still have thoughts, of course, but you are no longer at their mercy. You can observe them, understand their patterns, and choose whether or not to engage with them. This creates a sense of inner spaciousness and peace that is independent of external circumstances. Secondly, you become more fully alive. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you engage with life directly rather than through the filter of your mind's interpretations. The world becomes richer, more vibrant, and more beautiful. You connect with others more authentically, unburdened by the ego's need to judge or compare. You experience joy, gratitude, and love, not as fleeting emotions dependent on external events, but as intrinsic aspects of your being that arise from a deeper place than thought. This realization is like discovering the gold in the box you've been sitting on, the treasure, your true self, your innate peace, your capacity for joy and love was always there, waiting to be uncovered. The mind, the old box, was just a tool, not the treasure itself. Living from this understanding is not about becoming emotionless or passive. It's about responding to life from a place of conscious awareness rather than reacting from ingrained mental patterns. It's about using your mind as a tool when needed, but not letting it define who you are. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your past or your imagined future. You are the consciousness that observes it all. This realization is the beginning of true freedom, a journey of awakening to the vast, infinite being that you are. The power to end suffering, to find validation, security, and love was never outside of you. It was always and will always be within. Step into this power. Live from the truth of who you are. The present moment is waiting.